Good morning, everybody. This is Sean. Welcome back to our live stream. Please press the like button. If you are going to like this video, which you are, or if you liked it, if you saw it already, subscribe to the channel and comment. Your comments make a world of difference. Thank you, everyone, for your support. In today's video, we're going to analyze a video that I saw. There has been quite a bit of amateurish pedo videos that have been popping up, pedo catching videos. I think that a lot of these YouTube content creators are trying to replicate Vitaly, and Vitaly is basically replicating some of the initial videos that we started seeing on YouTube with these content creators catching these pedos. I think Vitaly basically engaged in a marketing campaign in such a way that his newer videos are very popular. In his videos, you see his private security team acting on incidents, and now we see other content creators as well doing the same thing. However, they don't have the budget that Vitaly has, and I don't think a lot of them have private security. I think that they're relying on the private security on the property. So there's been some controversy going on, some things that I think we really need to address. If you will, you might want to use this video as a training video for your security organization. If you need a topic, a training topic, this is a video that you probably want to show, because especially if you're in California, we're going to cover the penal code. We're going to cover the guard card manual. If you're chiming in from the state, a lot of the content that we discussed today does have a lot of application on your state. However, make sure that you consult with somebody who's well-versed in the rules and regulations and the laws in your state. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is not legal advice, not professional advice, and that's my disclaimer. We got Randy in the house, and we got Mike from the Professional Security Journal in the house. He calls it DeWittism, and he says he calls it, right? So let's talk about this. Let's watch the first video, which is rather interesting. Give me a second here. And by the way, I'll leave a link in the description box. Any videos or discussions or any links to any topics that we discuss today or any information that you might need. Let's begin with the video. This is just out of control, man. I'm telling you guys.
Damn!
Hey, what the?
Hey, you bro, fucking nice to meet her fucking 13-year-old girl, bro. Hey, homie, hey, drop the knife, homie.
Lay flat on the ground.
He's trying to meet a 15-year-old girl. He's trying to meet a 15-year-old girl. I got the screenshot.
Straight bitch.
Alright, so we're at the bus. We're getting ready to catch the pedal right now.
Okay, so we have this company or this YouTuber called Hidden Foos, and this area, I'm told, is in Escondido. I reached out to my audience, and nobody knows what security company was involved here, but I definitely would like to ask, like, what is going on here, and why did they act the way that they acted? I want to get some other insight. I reached out to you guys, and nobody knows the name of the company, and this company never reached out to me, and I really wanted to know, like, what were their thoughts, and maybe give me some more information, give us some more information. So what we basically have is, it says here, child predator meets up with 14-year-old girl with a weapon, and it has a crazy ending. And yes, it is kind of a crazy ending. The problem I have with a lot of these pedo catchers is, what is the method of evidence? Like, what is your evidentiary standard? At what point in time do you call somebody a pedo and call your video a pedo catching video? Like, what's the standard of proof? Is it a text message? For example, is there like a 20-year-old right, agreeing to meet with a 14-year-old on a date or something like that, or for possible sexual favors, or a sexual event or something like that. When you're engaging in that meeting, okay, you actually have solicitation. You have solicitation and it's an illegal act. And I'm all for these content creators doing this as long as you're meeting the evidentiary standard. But if you're meeting, and I'm not saying just, okay, I do have juvenile children, so I take these types of acts very seriously. But if you just have I don't know, a 28-year-old meeting with a 14-year-old, and the text messages just relate to, or the messages relate to, hey, can you meet me over here? I like to have a discussion. That's not in many cases. That's not a solicitation matter. You're going to need a lot more evidence. You're going to need a lot more information than that. If this is the content of it, if this is the extent of it, for me, I don't care what they do. For me, I think that this dude is probably a pedo, right? Nobody in their right mind and 20 or 30 years old is going to just meet a 14-year-old girl by herself, or a 15-year-old. They're not going to just do that on their own initiative, right? And it's creepy as hell. But at what point in time do you call this person a child predator, right? And what I'm saying is, you got to be careful, because when you call somebody a predator, you have to be factually correct. If you're not, then you're on the hook for slander or even libel if this is a published defamation in writing. So the evidentiary standard, I'm concerned for. I don't know exactly how Vitelli does it. But again, you have a crew that's maybe a little bit more professional, and maybe has a lot more resources than these guys. Let me just go through the comments real quick, make sure I didn't miss nothing. Oh, we got Rod here. Marietta, hello from Arizona. Hey, welcome. Welcome. Okay, so this is the actual act that I have an issue with. Well, actually, I have questions with, right? So again, I don't even have a lot of the information how they caught this dude. But we have the takedown, right?
Street. Hey, what? Hey, I told him to talk to us, so we're calling the police.
Hey, you gotta take the video and call the police.
All right.
My what?
Hey! That's him. So. Hey, we just want to talk. Why are you trying to meet a 14-year-old girl? Hey, he's strapped. Watch out. He got something in his hands. Hey, why are you trying to meet a 14-year-old?
So if you notice, these kids say he's strapped, right? If he's strapped, why are you pursuing him? Is it because the cameraman never dies? Look, it's beyond what I could comprehend right now. I don't see security here. The reason why I don't think that there's any professional security force attached to this organization, number one, they only got 500 subscribers or 400, and they don't have a professional film crew. I don't think that they have enough money to buy security services. That's why I'm saying that I'm thinking that they're probably relying on the security organization that's on the property in which you will see them soon.
Go! Hey, track side! Hey, get him!
So they're in pursuit.
Hey, get him! Hey, why are you trying to hear me to the 14-year-old girl?
So my question for this film crew is, what is your objective? What's your end goal? What are you going to do when you catch up to this guy who is strapped? And I put that in quotation marks. You catch up to him. What's the plan? And I honestly don't think that there's a plan. I mean, are you going to call the cops or what?
She's 14 years old. You know that. 18. No, she's not. We have the screenshots.
So this guy, this suspected pedo, says she's 18, and then the film crew saying she's 14. Again, this guy does seem like a pedo because he's saying she's 18, right? That's what pedos usually say. So I like to know some more backstory for sure. And the reason why I want to know more backstory is because if you're private security officer engage in the takedown of this guy, you got to have some more information.
And everything. Hey, come talk to us, homie. We just want to talk.
We just want to talk, right?
Hey, we just want to talk, homie.
I would be running too, right?
Hey, go to his car.
If I got some people chasing me down and saying we just want to talk.
Fuck, what? Hey, we just want to talk. Fucking loser. Child predator right there. Yeah. Hey, you're a fucking piece of shit. His car's right here. I don't know why he's running.
So they entered. It looked like private property. Let me fast forward it.
I don't think he's gonna do anything.
Anybody know what security company controls this property? I really want to know.
I already booked it, bro. Fucking put car on camera too for good angles.
This dude taking me to hiding behind suburbs?
Now you went over that way. Hey, dude, that's some janky shit, bro. He said, well, I didn't think that fool was gonna come there hella fast. That fool came immediately.
Which way did he go?
He went that way.
Huh?
Hey, here's his car plate again. Where?
Good job. They got a video of the license plate. There he is.
Hey, what the? It's security. What the fuck, fool?
Okay, so he says call security or get security. This guy has a knife. He has a knife. And what does he have to lose? Well, you just refer to him as a pedo. Is he a pedo? It does seem like it, right? But imagine you're the private security officers patrolling this property, and then you have this film crew. I mean, I don't know if the film crew is. I don't know. They're gang members. I have no idea. And then they're approaching this guy with a knife. Like, who's the victim and who's the suspect? Do you want to approach the situation? Is it worth it? Is this part of your post orders?
Hey, you, bro, fucking nice to meet a fucking 13-year-old girl, bro. Hey, homie.
Okay, so they just threw something at him. Can you throw something at somebody? Yes. If it's to defend yourself. If not, you basically you at least have an assault, and I think it hit him, then you have a battery, right? If it's a deadly weapon or a weapon that can cause great bodily injury or death, then you have an assault with a deadly weapon, or you have an aggravated battery, depending on the extent of the injuries. Yeah, I guess they can make a good argument that he has a knife, but guys, I mean, if somebody has a knife, you're gonna keep trying to push their buttons. You already have them identified. You have a license plate. You have a video of him admitting that he thought she was 18, and he's walking around with a weapon, right? And what really kind of bothers me with this suspect is, like, why did he show up with this huge machete style knife to meet this girl? That's bothersome as well. So I do understand their concern.
Hey, drop the knife, homie.
Gosh, man. And here we have the security officer. I initially thought he was a cop. I don't know, man. So you have this flashlight. It looks like one of the old school decels. I'm not saying that there's no room for that in the place, but normally you'd have something a little bit smaller, but that's up to him. I don't even know if this is a this plate carrier or this is like one of those older raid vests that were used like in the 90s. But this guy, this security officer actually looks like a police officer. I thought he was. My question to this company is, why are you involving yourself in this situation? Are you privy with this information? Is soliciting a minor, is it a misdemeanor or is it a felony? Do you know this? Because if it's a misdemeanor, it has to be committed in your presence, right? You need to have that factual information before you go hands on somebody and make a private person's arrest. If it's a felony in the state of California and most other states, you can make a private person's arrest as long as you have reasonable cause to believe that a crime occurred. Okay, you have that probable cause, and you have reasonable cause to believe that that person, I'm sorry, and that person, okay, that committed this felony is in fact the person that committed the felony. The thing about private person's arrest for felonies is you cannot be wrong. If you're wrong, like in law enforcement, if they're wrong, then all they do is 849B in California. That's the California Penal Code for basically your um it's a detention certificate, right? You issue a detention certificate, you tell the person that they're no longer arrested. What happened was they were detained, and here's a detention certificate. That's all what it does. Private security doesn't have the option. So if the facts are wrong, then the security officer is um it's fully responsible for the situation. And what benefit does he get? Guys, this film crew has a license plate number, has this person on film. You can't just call the police and stand by. And this person is armed with a knife. Like, does this make any sense to you at all? Okay, he's a knife.
Hey, you, bro, fucking nice to meet a fucking 13-year-old girl, bro. Hey, homie, hey, drop the knife, homie.
And this is not tactically sound as well. So this guy is, let's just say you're going to go for the takedown, right? You're a security officer. Number one is don't do this by yourself. Number two, call the cops. And then number three, if this person has a huge machete style knife, why are you going to draw your taser? This is not a This is not a taser solution. This is a firearm solution. Not a taser. Actually, it shouldn't have been any of the solutions. You should have called the cops. But why do you take a taser to a knife fight? You actually know who has the advantage here? The suspect. Is that taser 100% effective? Absolutely not. Is it 90% effective? I'd argue no. 50% effective? Maybe. The stats that we see on tasers is that many organizations have done their own studies, and they're 50 to 70% effective. Taser obviously will boast a 98, 99% success rate, but that's not the truth. And what does a security officer get out of doing this? Actually, matter of fact, a security sergeant. So this person is a supervisor. This person is supposed to have a higher level of knowledge than your average private security officer, right?
Taser that.
She lay flat on the ground.
He's trying to meet a 15-year-old girl.
Okay. So he's telling him lay flat on the ground. He's probably not going to do that. And he's holding the door open for him. If I was a suspect and I wanted a firearm, right, or I wanted to take this person's life, I could easily stab the security officer. I mean, look at this. And I think at what point in time he actually turned his back to him. And guys, I don't even know what kind of setup this is. What kind of setup is this? I don't get it.
Bro, he's trying to meet a 15-year-old girl.
You're essentially putting in your back. I mean, it's the sides, but the suspect here has a position of advantage. This is crazy.
Screenshot.
Yeah, screenshot. Screen.
So he's handcuffing this suspect while he's in possession of the taser, right? What can happen with that situation? Well, the suspect can grab the taser from you. At least have control over the suspect. Look at this. Let's watch this again.
I meet a 15-year-old girl. I got the screenshot.
Yeah, screenshot.
They're doing the handcuff.
Screen.
Nah, we're not,
With the
bro. You're
taser.
trying to meet up with a girl.
What the?
Back up. We'll go.
Would somebody please identify the security company? Because they failed to reach out to me. Why is he pointing the taser at other people? It doesn't make any sense at all. Jeez.
Screen.
Nah, we're not, bro. You're trying to meet up with a girl.
Back up. We'll go away.
So I guess he has his mind like tactic set, and he does have some situational awareness, I guess, right? The film turns closing in. He's probably like, who the hell are these guys over here that are YouTube content creators. They don't know that. The security officer doesn't know that. I'm not even convinced that he has control over the suspect yet. Yet he's brandishing his taser at these guys that called him over.
Go! I'm making shoes.
Bitch. Me a 15-year-old girl, bro.
I honestly don't think. I mean, this security officer is yelling at this film crew, if that's what you want to call them, to get back. I just don't think that he's part of it. But they're listening, which is great.
That's one pedal down, fool. One more to go, fool. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. All right, let's talk about the law, right? Oh, okay. I got some comments here. All right. So Mike from the Professional Security Journal, make sure you guys subscribe to him. He says, just for discussion, NRS, this is the Nevada code, 171.126, arrest by private persons. A private person may arrest another for a public offense committed or attempted in their presence. He goes on to say, when the person arrested has committed a felony, although not in the person's presence. Thank you, Mike. And then 3, when a felony has been in fact committed and the private person has reasonable cause for believing the person arrested to have committed it. So Mike says that this is Nevada citizens arrest law. This is essentially the same law as California. I believe it's the same law as most of the other states. Okay. Notice number 3 says when a felony has been in fact committed. If you don't have a felony, if the facts that were given to you are wrong, you can't make a private person's arrest. So what essentially you're doing is you're committing the crime of false imprisonment, which we'll touch in a minute. Samuel says Temu tactical. Oh boy, yep. Mike says what have we said in the past? Lethal means lethal. Yep. Knife equals deadly force. Weapon is presented equals time for talking over. Draw. If you're going to make an arrest, draw. Obviously, this situation is already botched. Mike says he wants command and control, has zero to do with looking badass. His scene now, back off. Yep. TB, hey, welcome, TB. He says, I bet he's going to tell the cops. I walked up right when I saw him with the knife and them two with the bat. That's why I intervened. Yeah, I agree. And Mike says that's what he's doing. He's establishing presence, but the yelling is necessary. Be firm and loud, but don't shout, if that makes sense. I agree. Look, the commands are necessary. Well, first off, this whole incident wasn't necessary for the security officer to intervene, in my honest opinion. But if you're going to involve yourself in a situation where you are privy to the facts, then you do have to establish command and presence, and you do have to raise your voice. Don't yell, or I'm sorry, don't scream. If you scream, it shows others that you're losing control. But if you tell somebody to stop or back off with a firm tone of voice, that's different. So for me, I would say, hey, back off. Back off. And the voice, the air or the projection is going to come out from my lower diaphragm. Hey, back off. Not if you, so if you start screaming, back off, and your voice is going to crack, and you're going to sound like you're losing control. Okay, so now let's talk about what the guard card manual says about this. So what essentially you have is a detention. He can make an arrest, and there's a huge distinction between an arrest and detention. In California and Nevada, you cannot detain unless you're detaining somebody for shoplifting. Otherwise, you're limited to the powers of arrest. You're limited to to making an arrest. If you're a private security officer, to absolve yourself of liability, I mean, strictly by the letter of the law, this security officer is going to say, no, I made a private person's arrest because he can't make a detention, right? So you're going to look as a security officer, you're going to make a private person's arrest for this amateur film crew. Would somebody please explain to me what is going on? All right. Just as promised, I'm going to talk about the Powers to Arrest manual. And once again, feel free to share this video with your team. All right. All right, guys. So this is the Powers to Arrest manual. And a lot of other states have the same type of manual, right? I understand it's California, but the rules and regs apply to a lot of the other states. This is it. This is, I guess, the Bible of security guards in California or security professionals. This manual is wrong. The manual is even wrong. Okay. So look, let me tell you what it says about detentions. Okay. So it says this. What is a detention? It's a person who voluntarily responds to questioning and is not actually restrained. Meaning they're free to go at any time is considered to be detained. Who the F wrote this manual? It is completely wrong. This is the 2023 version. This was reviewed by the BSIS. This is completely wrong. I'm not an attorney. There's not legal advice, but don't put 100% confidence in the manual. It's wrong. It says a person who voluntarily responds to questioning and is not actually restrained is considered to be detained. So if I'm a security officer and I suspect you of breaking into a vehicle, right? And I ask you about it, and you're voluntarily responding to questioning. I don't have handcuffs on you. I just approached you. No weapon in hand. I just approached you and want to ask you if this is your vehicle. You're not restrained, and you're voluntarily responding to my questions. According to this manual, you're detained. And it goes on to say that a person may be detained by the police for further questioning and investigation, and that person is not necessarily under arrest. That's correct. The police have the authority to detain a person against their will and still not arrest that person. And that's where I'm talking about 849B of the California Penal Code. All the other states have something very similar to California, by the way. And this is the point of honesty here. Okay. Security personnel do not have the authority to detain a person against their will, except under Penal Code 490.5, the merchant privilege rule, which is covered in detail later in this section. Nevada has a merchant privilege rule. The state of Oregon has a merchant privilege rule. And I want to say most of the other states have a merchant privilege rule. The manual is incorrect. And you're saying, Sean, you're arguing with a state manual. It's a government manual. I absolutely am arguing. They are completely wrong. The main difference is with an arrest, that person is not able to leave. And that person, based on your behavior, feels that they are in a custodial situation, that they're not free to leave and they're deprived of their liberty. And you have the intention on carrying on with the legal proceedings. Like you're going to pursue the private person's arrest. Okay. That is basically, I just covered the elements of an actual arrest, private person's arrest. And I discovered the legal procedure involved. There's a huge distinction with a detention. You're temporarily restraining that person for investigatory purposes only. That's it. You're detaining them. You're not allowing them to leave. They're not free to leave. They could be in handcuffs, but you're temporarily doing this so that you can investigate further. So, in a shoplifting incident, if you suspect, based on articulable facts, that this person is actually stealing from the store, okay, you can effect a detention under California Penal Code 490.5. If they have no merchandise on them and they haven't stolen anything, okay, you can release that person and it's just going to be considered a detention. If you don't release a person, then you got an arrest. So that's what it says. Okay. I believe that the security officers, so if you don't have a legal right to make a detention or an arrest, you're possibly on the hook for what we call false imprisonment. And I think that might be 236 of the California Penal Code. And guys, every section I talk about, your state probably has the same. Mike says the manual is wrong. No kidding. State boards always contradict the actual PCs. Yep. And he's dying and laughing behind his phone. It's wrong. Oh my gosh, man. I don't know if I should go to the next BSI's committee meeting and tell them that their manual is wrong, but in their own crazy mind, I think that they think they're right. So I think it's 232 of the Penal Code. No, 236, I think. Okay, let me share another screen with you guys. Okay, so California Penal Code 236 covers false imprisonment. False imprisonment is a false imprisonment it's unlawful violation of the personal liberty of another. Okay? Now let's go back to the video.
Hey, what the? It's security. What the fuck, fool? Hey, you bro, fucking nice to meet her fucking 13-year-old girl, bro. Hey, homie, hey, drop the knife, homie. Taser's ass.
You lay flat on the ground.
He's trying to meet a 15-year-old girl. I got the screenshot.
Okay, at this point in time, actually a little bit before that, when the security officer stood in front of the door or next to the door, you mean to tell me that he was not depriving this person of liberty? Guys, this is a Penal Code 236 violation. Kidnapping. Let's talk about kidnap, right? That's another potential violation. But it's at least something, well, we're going to explore the kidnap right now. And I think it's 207 of the California Penal Code. According to California Penal Code 207, it says every person who forcibly or by any other means of instilling fear steals or takes or holds or detains or arrests any person in the state and carries the person into another country, state, or county or into another part of the same county is guilty of kidnapping. Okay? Let's go back to the video. Now I'm pushing the kidnap issue a little bit. But what the DA's office does is they push the highest crime so that you plead to the lowest. I don't agree with that all the time, but that's what they do.
Taser's ass.
You lay flat on the ground.
He's trying to meet a 15-year-old girl. I got the screenshot.
Okay. Was he moved? Okay, was he moved using force or fear from the driver's seat all the way to the left rear passenger door? Remember, if you're moving somebody within the same county, okay, this is San Diego County. Did he move them within the same county? Yes, he moved them from the driver's seat all the way to the left rear passenger seat. Now, is it a mediocre technical kidnapping? Yes. Is it going to fly by the courts? I don't think it is. But you want to know what possibly is in store for this security officer's booking sheet? Possibly 207 of the California Penal Code. That's a felony, guys. It's a felony, and the DA is going to throw the highest charge so that you could plead for the lowest charge.
Nah, we're not, bro. You're trying to meet up with a girl.
We'll go away. Back up. We'll go away. Go! I'm like, you shoot.
You know, not only is this, well, I want to say not only this is possibly an improper use of authority, this can possibly lead to administrative punishment by the BSIS. I mean, technically, you're using force, right? I mean, you're just touching somebody. But if I was a security company, I argue it's not. Okay, we didn't actually use force. Well, then how'd you take him out of the car? Well, I just guided him to the car. Yeah, I guess that'll work. All right, going back to comments. Mike says, "Hey Sean, can you make an argument for menacing?" I don't understand what menacing is in Las Vegas. Does that mean like brandishing a weapon in a rude and threatening manner? Let me look it up. So in California, I think 417 is covered. And whenever you guys look up penal codes, especially in California, make sure that you're on this government website, California Legislative Information. Don't go to shells.com. That's an attorney website. This is actually the real penal code. Okay. Okay, you guys can't see my screen. Give me a second here. Okay, so 417 says every person who, except in self-defense, in the presence of another person, draws or exhibits any deadly weapon whatsoever other than a firearm in a rude, angry, or threatening manner, or who in any manner unlawfully uses a deadly weapon other than a firearm in a fight or quarrel is guilty of misdemeanor. I don't think a taser is considered a deadly weapon. However, if I was a district attorney or prosecutor, I would argue that if the taser, the probes are pointed towards someone's head or throat or their eyes, you just turn in a taser into a deadly weapon. But those facts are not there. So I don't see any charge for 417. I don't know if that's the same for menacing. Mike says by word of conduct. So I think he's describing what menacing is. He says by word of conduct, the person knowingly places another person in reasonable apprehension of imminent bodily harm. You know what? It could be 415 of the California Penal Code. Let me look it up. 415 is any of the following persons shall be punished in imprisonment county for jail. Any person who lawfully fights in a public place or challenges another person in a public place to fight. I don't think so. Any person who maliciously and willfully disturbs another person by loud and unreasonable noise. No. 3, any person who uses offensive words in a public place which are inherently likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction. I don't think that is covered. Let me look up the Nevada section. 200-571 NRS. Let me go on Google. $200. Oh, man. 200-571 NRS. Okay, I found the Nevada section. And guys, again, this is not the right website you look to find information on the current sections. So 200-571 is harassment in Nevada. A person is guilty of harassment if, without lawful authority, the person knowingly threatens to cause bodily injury in the future to the person threatened or any other person, to cause physical damage to the property of another person, to subject the person threatened or other person to physical confinement or restraint, or 4, to do any of the act which is intended to substantially harm the person threatened or any other person with respect to his or her physical or mental health and safety. Okay, I would make an argument that this is Nevada, that this would be a 200.571 violation. Now, what would exempt this person, this security officer, from 200-571? I would argue that even in Nevada, a legitimate private person's arrest would absolve this 200-571 complaint, criminal complaint. I know, I'm almost sure everybody in Nevada will agree with me on that one. Okay, that exempts you from here. So California does have 422 of the California Criminal Code that covers making a credible threat. I don't know. You guys want to look it up? All right, we'll do it. All right, guys, we're on 422 of the California Criminal Code. It says any person who willfully threatens to commit a crime which will result in death or grave bodily injury to another person. No, so we're going to stop here. It's not a crime to use reasonable force, to threaten force to make a private person's arrest. But it says here the words grave bodily injury and death. Again, if that taser is pointed at someone's vital areas, especially like an eye or a face, then you can make a good argument for 422. But again, I don't see any district attorney even filing on the security officer for any of the charges. So what's the whole reason why why is this a teaching topic of today? Well, because this is something that I don't think security companies should be doing is interjecting themselves in these types of situations. You have the license plate. You have a good video of the suspect. You have some admission of guilt. Use that. Let me go to the comments here. Jay Pitts is here. Welcome, Jay. He says, same here in Michigan. Me personally, I would have did a full-scale investigation first, but got his plate number if he decided to leave. Most security officers don't know what type of tree they're barking up when it comes to detaining. So I don't know what the laws are, Jay. In Michigan, in California, you cannot do a full-scale investigation, even for a pedo-related crime. If you want to do an investigation, you have to have a private investigator license. Private security officers in California are able to make investigations as it relates to company loss or theft, but they cannot do so for these types of crimes or even crimes against persons. Jay sits. So menacing while holding a knife is a felony in your state. Okay, so Jay and Mike, I want to offer this distinction here. What you saw, I'm trying to concentrate on the security officer, but for this suspect who's possibly committing a pedo crime, brandishing a knife in that manner is a crime. It's 417. If you maybe swing with it and that person is in close proximity of getting slashed, then you have an assault with a deadly weapon. And hopefully we're clear on that. Are we clear on that, Jay? We're talking about two different people. So Mike and Jay are having a discussion. I don't want to lose ourselves in discussion. I'm discussing the security officer's conduct, and it looks like I may have allowed you guys to confuse the topic with the suspected pedo who's displaying the knife. Okay, if somebody's trying to make a legitimate private person's arrest on you, and you brandish a knife, that is 417, and it can lead up to a 245. TB says, yeah, in Georgia, they changed the law in May of 2021 and took out the word arrest and swapped it for detaining. Black and white, we can only detain someone for shoplifting or dining and ditching. Oh, okay. So Georgia. So I think we're pretty clear on the laws in Oregon. And if I'm wrong, you let me know. Las Vegas, Michigan, and now Georgia. Yeah, no, it's my fault, guys. I wasn't clear. It's my fault. Don't worry about it. Let's watch the video one more time. So we can have some closing comments here.
Bitch. Hey, homie, where? Hey, what the?
Look, I just noticed something. We really have to watch our conduct. Let's just say you did not commit a pedo-related crime. Me, if you're gonna approach me in this manner, I'm gonna probably produce a weapon. Look at the mannerisms and the hand movements of this YouTube content creator crew member with the white Nike Cortez shoes and then the dark color pants. Okay, that, guys, I don't know if you ever taken a CCW class or concealed carry class. That's right now you're going into position to draw. You lift up your shirt so that you can you clear your garment so that you can access the grip of your pistol. That's what that looks like. And he's looking at him like, hell no. Like, I'm gonna take something out.
Hey, what the? It's security. What the fuck, fool?
You mentioned security.
Hey, you brought a fucking nice to meet a fucking 13-year-old girl, bro. Hey, homie, hey, drop the knife, homie. Taser's that.
You lay flat on the ground.
He's trying to meet a 15-year-old girl. I got the screenshot.
We have screenshots. Straight.
Look, we're gonna end with this. What's your post orders? What's your authority? Your post orders are probably not catch the pedos on the property, right? Especially when there's a film crew doing their own thing. Call the police as long as you got them identified. Now, if I saw that act like in progress, oh, I'm sure anybody watching this would intervene. Like, you actually saw an assault on a child. Oh, we're intervening 100%. Everybody, hit the like button if you would intervene if a child was being assaulted by a suspected pedo. Hit the like button, guys. I think any one of us would intervene, right? But if you're going over text messages and if the solicitation, should you intervene? If I'm private security on that property, I'm probably not going to intervene, because what's going to end up happening is you take this guy's life because he brandished a knife at you, and then you end up finding out that this film crew didn't even present to you solid facts, solid case, reasonable cause, probable cause, whatever you want to call it. Their evidentiary standard was mediocre, and now you just took this guy's life. Just think about that. And then also, why are you approaching people by yourself that are armed? Honestly, this requires a challenge situation where you withdraw your firearm and take him out at gunpoint if you're going to take him into custody. So that's all I have today. Make sure you guys share this video with other people. Looking forward to the comments. Take care, guys.